and very few cowboys have stood out for their 10th round heroics like a guy named Oat Berry, Chakotah, Oklahoma. He's one of the reasons it's known as the steer wrestling capital of the world. He was in action in this round 10, chasing another world championship.
Well, there are the results of the 10th go-round of the national finals in bareback riding. Chuck Logue, the defending champion of the world, wins his first go-round of this national finals with 82 points. Bob Logue and Ty Murray tie at 81. Lewis Field at 80 points. But the champion of the world, the man who had the lead coming in, and here he is in action now. Our world champion in bareback bronc riding is Clint Corey. Clint Corey. He becomes the champion of the world. Congratulations for him, for Clint Corey. Also, we need to point out, too, we had an average winner as well. Wayne Herr won the average for the national finals. Congratulations to him. But Clint Corey held on by the slimmest of margins to win the bareback world championship. He came in leading in the world, and he maintains that now. Well, let's go now to our next event, our first timed event. We'll take a look at the world standings in steer wrestling. Oat Berry, he is the defending champion of the world, and Oat Berry comes into the final go-round with a lead of $17,000. But Blaine Pedersen, by winning the average, could win the title by an $1,800 margin. Now to repeat as champion, Oat Berry needs to place at least 4th in this final go-round or jump up 1 position in the average. So Oat Berry is right now the man trying for a 2nd straight world title. Let's go to steer wrestling.
Well, thank you, Chris, and that takes us now. We'll start off with Byron Walker, 12th in the world, 11th in the average, and one of the most entertaining guys you'll ever see. I've kidded about him all week. He won a world championship early in his career, then he retired, said he missed the media coverage, said he missed all the hoopla of rodeo, came out of retirement, and I like to compare him to a former heavyweight champion in boxing. There's no telling how many more times Byron's going to retire and then come out of retirement.
Well, I'll tell you what he misses is a chance to win $11,000 each time he goes out and throws a steer. Oh, right there, you see that? He just that steer slipped down to the end of his arms there. He was going for a quick throw. Tough luck for Byron Walker coming into this go-around. Still wins $11,000 or close to it this week.
Well, I don't think that's the last time we'll see Byron Walker here at the NFR. And now let's go down to Gretchen Polhemus.
Clint Corey of Kennewick, Washington, for 3 years has been the reserve champ, but he brings home the gold this year as the bareback riding world champion. Clint, was the pressure of being the reserve champ getting to you, or what was the difference this year?
Yeah, you know, a guy thinks about it for about that long, and you got to say, hey, forget it. This is a different year. Go do it. Win it, you know. Forget that 2nd place stuff. Go ahead and get it. And it feels great. Finally, you know, finally. Oh, it feels outstanding.
Well, Clint's brother's been sitting in front of us all week long, and I know their family is very, very happy that he wins the world championship here. Well, we're back now to the steer wrestling, and this is just as tight a race as the bareback riding was. Here's big Roy Duval, 23 trips to the National Finals Rodeo. He qualified for this year's NFR on the final day of Rodeo's regular season at the Grand National Rodeo at the Cow Palace. Roy sits 10th in the world. His best outing was in the 4th go-around where he split the check for 1st and 2nd place money.
He's had a few rounds that he had a little bad luck in. He's also won over $17,000 in the go-rounds, and he's really thinking about trying to add almost $11,000 into his pocket. You'll see him try to set his horse back there in the corner. They're trying to get things just perfect. Now he's going to be close at the barrier. Looks good right here. That steer hangs up on the fall, though, and when they're winning go-arounds in 3.8 or faster, 4 seconds, those little hang-ups like that steer made at the end keeps that clock going. 6.5 for Roy Duval.
6.5 seconds for Roy Duval. And boy, these guys got their hands cut out for Mike Smith because he came through just moments ago with this run right here. Mike's been one of those guys all week. He's been hot or he's been cold. Today, he was hot.
Well, he has had some great runs in the steer wrestling, and he put the pressure on the whole pack with a 3.8.
That's going to be tough to beat this afternoon. Next to go here in the steer wrestling, Joey Roberts. Joey comes into the final performance here, 9th in the world, 10th in the average. This guy just needs to place in the top 4 and pick up a final check here at the NFR.
There was a good run. It took him a little while to catch up with that steer. His horse just kind of didn't pack him by as quick as he should have. Once he got his hands on him, though, slam dunk at 4.6.
Time there, yes, Butch, 4.6. Well, the real excitement in the steer wrestling is yet to come. We'll crown this year's world champion when we come back to the Nationals Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas.
More from round 10 in 1991 when we come back. The year is 1991. It's round number 10. We're crowning world champions. Let's get back to the action.
Welcome back to the National Finals Rodeo, ESPN's coverage here. It's the 10th and final day. And this crowd packed in here again. It's the toughest ticket in Las Vegas. We're in the steer wrestling, and here is Marty Melvin, 4th in the world, 8th in the average. For a lot of guys like Todd Fox who come in here needing a break from some of the guys that lead him in the average, these guys aren't much down the line of friendship here, are they? They're not going to give you a break.
Well, when you think of the top 15 in the world standings, these guys don't make mistakes very often during the year to qualify for this kind of rodeo at the National Finals Rodeo. Marty Melvin, 4.9 right now. Watch this now. You'll see. Now notice the hazer. That's the guy on the other side. He just keeps the steer in shape so Marty can get a good jump. Now the horse packs his feet down. He just slides until the steer comes around his hip and rolls him into a fall. Picture perfect.
That takes us to a guy who I think if I had to pick next year's winner right now would be him, Cody Battles. He's young, he's hungry, he's from Chakota, Oklahoma, and when you get those three things right there in your favor, that could lead to a world championship pretty quick.
He's won over $21,000 already. He kind of hurried that steer a little bit. Now when I say hurry, I mean that you'll see when he got down, he tried to bring the steer around. He just hurried to the nose a moment too early, and that's why that steer didn't fall a little quicker. And that's one little mistake, about the only mistake that I think Cody Battles has made all week long that I can tell.
He had the fastest time of the week in the 6th go-around with a 3-1. So that gives you an idea of the talent of this young man. Well, Butch, now we get down to the nitty-gritty. Todd Fox came here leading the world, but it took him a while to get that first paycheck, and now the 10th and final go-around, he sits 3rd in the world, and he needs a break if he's going to win that world championship.
Well, he's on the best horse in the business. This is Doc Be Quick of Larry Ferguson's, voted the very best steer wrestling horse. This steer is a bad steer. He sets real hard. Todd Fox, they've had trouble with this steer earlier. He cowboys up. There, I give him an A for effort. Todd Fox. I like this guy. He needed to stay in that average. He didn't need to fall out of it at all. He is a cowboy, no doubt about it. Now let's watch this. Watch the steer. When I say he sets up, he actually stops. Todd knew he stopped. He did it on some other guys during the week. He almost lost contact with him. He holds on. Once he gets a hold of him, he throws him down. Todd Fox, I don't know if you're going to win the world or not. You're one of my heroes, no doubt.
No doubt. That is the most entertaining run we've seen this week. That was incredible. Now here's a guy who came into today really in the driver's seat. Blaine Pedersen, he's from Canada. No Canadian has ever won a world championship in steer wrestling, but this guy is #1 in the average, #2 in the world, and in a position to win that first title.
The pressure was on him. The first thing, he does not need to break the barrier. It looks as though he's clean at the barrier, 5.2. It's going to maintain a very strong position. This will keep him in first place in the average. Now this makes Oat back in there. He has to win this go-around.
Oat came here with a $17,500 lead. Now you know that Pedersen is going to stay #1 in the average. That's $23,000 regardless of who's paid what for this go-around. A lot of pressure on this world champion, but we saw him answer the bell last year in the National Finals Rodeo, and he is a guy that can do it again.
Well, here we go. He needs to move up in the average. He slams one. I've seen him in this position. 3.7. That is an outstanding run. I told you, don't back this guy into a corner. Wow.
The run is clean. That is incredible. Oat Berry with another dramatic finish at the National Finals Rodeo, and that should be good enough to get himself another world championship.
Well, let's hope so. It is going to be close, there's no doubt, but he is amazing. Look at him throw this steer, looks up the clock and thinks, I've done it again.
1/10 of a second. That's incredible. That wraps up the steer wrestlers, and what a finish. But hey, we still have 5 more world champions to crown, and we'll do that when our coverage of the National Finals Rodeo continues right after this.
Well, this was an age where Jake Barnes and Clay O'Brien Cooper had been dominant in team roping, but could they win another world championship? We'll find out when we come back. Back in our Justin Booth Studios, round 10 from the 1991 National Finals Rodeo. This is before what I guess you could call the team roping revolution. In 1991, they still crowned a world champion team roper. not a world champion header or a world champion heeler. It's whoever won the most money, whether you're a header or a heeler. And it kind of motivated those teams to rope together all through the year so you could kind of share that world championship. They hadn't gotten equal money at the NFR yet, but that was coming just a few years down the line. So the question as you kind of rolled into 1991, would it be a single world champion like it was the year before, or will it be a team? Let's find out.
In the 10th go-round of steer wrestling, the pressure was on the defending champion, Oat Berry, and he responded by winning the go-round, 3.7 seconds. He now won 3 of the go-rounds, shared in another one, and is the world champion for the 3rd time in his career, the Cowboy from Chakota, Oklahoma. He won it in 85, 90, and 91, and he sets a new record for Bulldoggers, winning more than $116,000 this year. Let's go down to Gretchen now to meet the 3-time champion of the world.
Oat Berry did come into this national finals leading the world, but what matters is that he finished that way. He's our steer wrestling world champion. Oh, it was a neck-and-neck race. Good thing you pulled it off.
I had a good steer today. They'd placed on him once before, and I knew if I could just get out good and hopefully just make the best run I could. So steer took it real good. I got out good and just happy and glad it turned out this way.
I guess this means a lot to you. Is that a silly question?
Yeah, it means a lot. I've won 2 world championships before, but it doesn't get any better than the thrill I'm getting right now, and it's just exciting, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm just having a great time.